Everyone. It is July the 1st, and Carla and I have decided to do an early morning version of our pre-run up to Wimbledon discussion and podcast, if that's the correct term here. We got our fantasy teams picked, and our two oldest of five children, the two oldest 16 and the 13-year-old boys, did theirs as well. We had a pretty stiff wind coming off the water blowing right into where we normally do the videos. So we came out to an Indian oyster shell mound on the north side of where we live in Dauphin Island, Alabama. So we are in a natural reserve, and we came out early to take opportunity to do this early with our five kids' grandmother being here, so we don't have to provide the breakfast buffet this morning. Woo! So we came out to do it early so we can get done with this and get excited for Wimbledon and play some tennis this afternoon and train the kids. So we're going to jump right into it. We want to do this on one show. We have the fantasy teams to discuss. And first and foremost, before we even get into the fantasy teams, this is show number 26. I have to give the absolute beginning, or the most important part of the show, to the viewers. So we've had 4 viewers in the past couple of days that I can tell have understood that we are new to bringing news to you, and it helped us through the first 26 shows, I would say, by pointing out things and topics for discussion. So I'm going to thank each one of those viewers currently. Number 1, to Furzy09, who created a topic of discussion in a professional, non-biased way that had to do with performance-enhancing drugs or doping, etc. And I thought it was a great conversation, got our minds going, so I enjoyed that. 2, Steve Clevenger, he's one of the weather fans that we enjoy doing weather videos, or I do, and I kind of drag Carla into it. But I enjoy doing it, and he's been there, and I missed a small thunderstorm yesterday. It was an intense little storm, right?
Yeah, it was. It picked up pretty quickly, ended quickly.
Yeah, so I realized that thunder was coming, and I was downloading one of our tennis discussion videos, and I missed it, so sorry, Steve. Next weather video, I promise. A good one for you. To a viewer, Vlad's Music Box, who commented for us something that I noticed, and I didn't quite grasp it from a viewer's perspective until I saw the positive comment about the beginning. Hopefully, Vlad's the Music Box, hopefully I didn't start the video right in the middle of the sentence. I have seen that before. Definitely sorry for that. Definitely a nice comment, and I definitely agree with you. So if this beginning was better, let me know. Thank you very much, Vlad's Music Box. And lastly, to Vivek Vinkantraman, who helped me actually make some risky decisions on my fantasy team by means of Dimitrov, and we discussed some other players too, but I went ahead and picked Dimitrov for you. It's risky, but hey, I've won Wimbledon between us for 4 or 5 years in a row, so if Dimitrov hurts me, I still agree with you. I went ahead and took him for you. All right, so now into fantasy teams, locked and loaded. So we did ours. Our 2 oldest sons did their own. Again, we have 5 kids, so the 3 youngest ones, the 9-year-old, the 5-year-old, and the 2-year-old, you know, they may know 1 or 2 players, but not really.
Yeah.
All right, so we're jumping right in. I'm going to check the camera real quick, make sure we're still rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Good on time and ready to roll. All right, so I hope I didn't miss anybody on that intro. I don't think that I did. We're going to start out with my team.
Okay.
I'm the defending champion, so I got first dibs. My team is as follows. Locked in and entered into the site: Federer, Cilic, Dimitrov, Dimitrov, Kyrgios, Pouille, Kachanov, and Muller. That means I have 2 unseeded players. Wow, I got unseeded Muller and unseeded Kachanov. I reviewed the draws yesterday. I won't have time to tell you really specifically why I chose each one after saying I didn't want to pick Dimitrov yesterday and I picked Nadal. I actually dropped Nadal off my team and put Dimitrov in. I just felt Nadal was a little vulnerable. The unseeded with Muller, he's got a pretty open quarter, and he usually does well here. That one may hurt me. and then picking Kachanov as well first as an unseeded. He plays David Ferrer, which was risky in a sense, but I really like that his biggest seed, or the biggest two seeds in Kachanov's little eighth, you could say, would be Dominic Thiem, who hasn't really proved much to me on grass, and then Verdasco, and kind of the same feelings there. So I went ahead and chose Kachanov and Muller as my unseeded players.
Well, you went pretty risky in taking Dimitrov. Really? Over Nadal? Big mistake. I know one of the viewers did say that. I think that's a huge mistake.
I got the dog ladder out here. If there's locusts in the trees.
I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me, but I think it's a huge mistake that he took out Nadal and put Dimitrov. You were better off putting Del Potro over Dimitrov.
Well, yes and no. I felt like Nadal and Del Potro, if Nadal even makes it through the first couple of rounds, from his interviews, it sounds like he's not putting too much emphasis on this tournament. But maybe that's the good old setup for in case I lose, then this is why. But I may just win the whole tournament.
True.
But I figured that you had in that quarter, in that section, you had Del Potro and you had Nadal on a potential collision course to meet each other. Don't forget about Goffin in there either. I mean, I'm not going to study Goffin too much, but I felt like why risk picking Nadal or Del Potro if I'm going to lose one of them in a potential quarterfinal? So I look down to where Dimitrov is, and I'm saying, yes, he plays a risky Wawrinka right off. Great match, but what I saw from Dimitrov getting crushed by Murray, right? Like 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that means nothing, but again, I'm really kind of scared about Dimitrov's first match against Wawrinka. But maybe like I think it was Vivek that mentioned, and a great point. Maybe the pressure's finally off Dimitrov. Maybe he can swing freely, and if he takes out Wawrinka, I think he has a great shot of getting through his next big seed, which would be Tsitsipas. I think Tsitsipas is too young. Carreno Busta, I think for me, he's an okay grass player, but I'm not too worried. And then Isner may bail out anywhere. So I think Dimitrov has a great opportunity. So thank Vivek for that.
Well, if Dimitrov plays like he did at the Australian Open, then he can get through those rounds. I mean, when Dimitrov started the season, I thought he could actually win the Australian Open. He was playing great. He was beating top players. He had no worries in his head. I mean, he started, the year really right, but then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened at the French Open during the clay season. He just started losing every match. So I don't know. We'll see. It's big. It's risky. He has to get through Wawrinka first.
Yeah, I'm a little scared about that one. I'm going to keep positive thoughts behind my pick, and I think Dimitrov should be able to handle Wawrinka. But, I mean, if Wawrinka's hot, and what we've seen from him the past couple of weeks is nothing but just warm-up tennis, and he really hasn't been trying everything and still kind of testing his knee out and so forth.
Sure, I'm sure he's scared.
Then maybe the mental jitters will come out for Wimbledon, and maybe Dimitrov will get handled. But I went ahead and picked him, so we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
All right, so my final that I have predicted is a Cilic meeting. I hate to say it, but I think Kyrgios is going to pull through here to the final. Again, I'm not a huge Kyrgios fan. I'm not. I don't care for the court antics. I definitely don't care with daughters, the gesture that was made on the sideline. Again, if I was the ball girl, or the ball girl was my daughter next to Nick, then I think I might have jumped into the court and probably gotten escorted out trying to tackle somebody. No offense, I like the kid. I'm saying that just because I'm talking garbage. But a good kid, and I really think he can be one of the top 3 players in the world. And I'm hoping that eventually, kind of like Tomic has done, at least what I think I have seen. I think Tomic's matured a lot. Well, can Kyrgios mature before the age of Tomic? If this can happen, I think we should all watch out for Kyrgios. I'm going to give Kyrgios an opportunity to get to a final in a major here. On grass, he's got a perfect setup, a perfect game for it, as long as he doesn't squander unforced errors by pulling trick shots on the way to the net between his legs. What's the point of that? You're gonna serve and volley and then volley in between your legs. I think it looks cool and the crowd's gonna ooh and ah, but I don't need it at this tournament. I don't need it.
Didn't one of the viewers mention that they think this is Cilic's chance to win Wimbledon?
Yeah.
I thought I don't remember which viewer, but someone said Cilic can be kind of boring at times, so people don't really see him as a great pick. But I think they're right. Cilic has a great chance to win this Wimbledon.
All right, so I have Cilic actually winning that match, so I have a Cilic-Kyrgios final. and I have Chilich winning that. So again, for me, I'm going to pass it over to Carla. I know I've talked a lot. Time to let the pretty young lady talk. You know, I think she's muy bonita. Anyway, so we're going to let her talk. Again, a couple players that I just want to mention that we have to look out for in the men's side that are two more unseeded players. Tomic, who we just talked about. I'm not saying Tomic's going to win, but he can do well here. He looks relaxed. And watch out for the longtime veteran Julian Benito, the other Frenchman. He looks really good always. I'm not saying he's going to win the tournament, but he has a pretty decent section around where Kachanov is. So I was kind of flipping coins between Kachanov and Benito in that section because for me, Verdasco and Thiem, the other seeds in that section, I think Benito or Kachanov could beat either one of them, but I went ahead and chose Kachanov. So, by the way, I'll do my women's one real quick.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead, do your women's.
All right, on the women's side, I have Wozniacki, Muguruza, Sloane Stevens, Kvitova, Venus Williams. Hold on, I'm going to go to my actual locked in just to make sure I'm not making an error. So, Kvitova, Muguruza, Sloane Stevens, Wozniacki, Venus, Serena, Strykova, and Bouchard.
Pretty good picks, Justin. They're pretty good.
Yeah, so my final that I have projected, I have Muguruza playing Serena and Muguruza winning it. I honestly don't think Serena will even get to a final, as much as I hate to say that. Again, I'm a Serena fan. I am, obviously, until there was ever any type of allegations that became true about some type of performance enhancing. But at this point, again, I don't want to get into that again. I think she's okay. But again, we did a nice conversation and research due to Furzy09 helping us with that. And I thought it was a very well done, professional, objective conversation. So right now, I just can't bet against Serena is what I'm saying. I don't think she's going to make the final. I don't. But I can't bet against her getting there if she's in the draw. Because everyone else is going to take her. So if I don't take her, and you know what I mean? So Kvitova, I think, has a chance. And honestly, Bouchard, my unseeded player. I mean, she made a final in 2014. She fell off, but I think she might be growing up too, like Kyrgios needs to, or like Tomic has done. So I'm happy with it. So for time constraints, I'm going to turn it over to Carla. But
Well, who'd you pick in your final?
I picked Muguruza to play Serena.
And who's winning?
And Muguruza winning it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you think she's going to win it a second year in a row?
I think Muguruza, to me, from what I've seen during this grass court season, I mean, I understand she lost at the French.
She did well.
But I see her as being graceful. I see her as being powerful when she needs to be. I see her changing up when she needs to be. I see her going for her shots when she needs to. I see her looking like a champion. So I project Muguruza winning here.
That's a good pick. I don't know that she could win a second time in a row.
So I'm very confident. I plan to beat Carla, by the way, for my 5th straight Wimbledon. And the 3rd slam or major that I've won over her this year. So I've won the Australian, I've won the French over her, so I'm looking to do a season slam all 4. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to pass it over to her, and this is Carla's team, men's and women's, final predictions and winners.
Well, for my picks, I have, of course, Nadal, Federer, Del Potro, Cilic, Querrey, Edmund, Shapovalov, and Muller. I know he thinks that I'm being risky with Querrey, Edmund, Shapovalov, and Del Potro. But if you look at Del Potro's draw, Justin, I mean, he really doesn't have a challenge until he meets Nadal. He'll beat Shapovalov, which is one of my picks. Lopez in the second round. Murray is talking about still withdrawing from Wimbledon. So he might not even be there. And Goffin has lost to so many players this year. He's not the same player he was last year.
Yeah, I think Delpo, the only reason why I think is risky, didn't I write risky next to him? I think it's risky just because of his sheer size and height. He has had some wrist injuries. He's been out for a while. I mean, he's played this year. I mean, in the past. But he has, in his section, he has Shapovalov, which would be tough, and Goffin, that would be tough. Nadal really has kind of a...
Yeah, but Delpo, the type of game that he has, he's got that powerful forehand. In Wimbledon, you have to end your points within 2-3 shots. You shouldn't be going more than that. And he's that type of player who's going to serve hard. He's going to try to make winners right away. He loves this type of surface. It's just like hard court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that's a risky pick. And then as far as Query, we know that this is Query's best Grand Slam. This one in the U.S. Open. He always makes it past the fourth round at Wimbledon. So why not? I mean, if I look at Query's side, I mean, who does he have? Gasquet? He's going to get through to the fourth round and meet Muller. And he could beat Muller. Muller or Query can, either one could win that match.
All right, so my Query thoughts are this. Query is a good player when his serve is on, and usually it is on, usually. The only problem with the big serve, that is the foundation of big serve, and not necessarily, I mean placement, yes, but he tends to just blast the serve in there. So if his serve isn't doing exactly what he wants it to do, I think it opens up the court for his opponent on his service games, which, alas, results in service break. So my problem with that section is that Monfils is in there. Monfils, again, I think just lost to Manarino in Turkey. I like Monfils a lot. I would never bet on him because you don't know what you're going to get all the time, kind of like Kyrgios. But as long as Monfils is there and Monfils is firing on all cylinders, Monfils could run to a final. Just saying. I don't think it's going to happen, but I stayed away from Query because of Monfils in that area, and as well, because if his serve isn't clicking, Query, like any of the big servers, Karlovic's, give me another one, the Isners, if their serve isn't up in the 70% range, or 68 to 75, they're done, at least in my opinion, so I stayed away from Query.
Yeah, but Query, I mean, you got Gasquet and Monfils facing each other, so any of those could win that match. And one thing about Query that makes him different from Isner is that he serves and volleys, which is great at Wimbledon. So he tries to finish the point right off. So that's why I picked him. And then as far as Edmund, I think it's Edmund's time to break through, to be one of the guys that we talk about besides Thiem, besides Alexander Shevrev, besides Shapovalov. He has a lot of talent. The guy is powerful. I mean, I just think he needs more matches under his belt. I would really like to see Edmund go to the final. I know I'm hoping and praying it might not happen, but I'm going for that risky pick.
Yeah, I agree in a sense. I like Edmund in terms of a player. I like his court conduct. I like what he says to the media. I think I just read an article this morning, why is Federer so great? Or why does he do so well on grass? And his response was very humble and, hey, he's just such a good player. I don't think you can really say much more than that. But I didn't like Edmund in this tournament because in his section, he has Djokovic and Thiem. So I didn't want to take him as one of my 17 through 32 seeds to go deep because he would have to meet either or, I think, by the third or fourth round. So I stayed away from him. But good pick, like the kid. I think he still needs time and to get some fight under his belt so he learns how to fight at the right moment and when to be passive at the right moment. I think he still has some maturing to do.
Yes, he does. But again, he could break through. As far as Shapovalov, I mean, I don't plan Shapovalov passing the fourth round. He out of all the seeds from 17 to 32, I thought he was my best pick. Plus, I didn't want to go with the typical pick of Puig. So I went with Shapovalov. I'm a big fan. I've been talking about him. I like to see him break through.
I can't disagree with picking Shapovalov, except for that I think like Edmund and like a lot of the young kids, that I still think they have to develop some fight and get that little baby stuff out of them. And I don't mean baby like they're babies and act like babies. I mean in terms of when a man gets into a fight, and on the tennis court, it is indeed a fight. Once that fence closes and you're on that court, I don't care if I'm your friend or not, I'm going to try to beat you. I'm not going to try to be flashy. Let's reference Kyrgios again. I'm not going to try to be screaming, come on, too much. I'm going to try to stay in my zone, kind of like a Cilic or a Muller or even Query, who you can look in their eyes and they want to kill you on that tennis court. And I don't see the fight of a man in Edmund yet, and I don't see the fight of a man in Shapovalov yet, hence why I picked neither.
I'm sorry, I see the fight in Edmund, maybe not so much in Shapovalov. On my final, I have Nadal, Cilic, and Nadal winning.
Who's your unseeded player?
Oh, Muller. I don't think that's a risky pick.
Yeah, I don't. I think Muller's good.
Muller's, that's his best surface is Wimbledon. He reminds me of a girl that used to play Wimbledon several years ago. Not ranked, didn't play any tournaments. I forgot her name. She was from Bulgaria, I think. I forgot her name, but we used to always see her in the quarters. He's the same type of player. He's like Lisicki. That's his surface. He does great at that surface.
Yeah, I agree with Muller, hence why I picked him as my unseeded player. Remember, I picked two unseeded players, so I'm pretty risky too. All right, so women's time, right? Oh no,
Yeah.
your final.
Nadal, Chilik, and I have Nadal winning. Honestly, what I want to see is a Federer Nadal final, and I know people might disagree with me, but I would love to see that because I think it's Federer's last year playing.
But you said Nadal, Chilich, right?
Yes.
And who do you have winning in that?
Nadal.
So you have Nadal winning the whole show.
I'm sorry, I'm a Nadal fan.
All right, I guess it would be nice to see Federer Nadal again. I don't foresee either one of them making a final this year. They have to be tired. Federer's close to your age.
Yes.
So I mean, not that you can't still play at a high level there, but 3 out of 5 sets. If he's gone 3 sets in these recent tournaments against subpar players. Speaking of Federer, if he goes too many 5 sets, I think age might hurt him here. I love you, Federer. You're a great player. I got your initials tattooed on my back. I won't show that in the video just to keep it professional, but I'm not big of a Federer fan and have been for many years since he was a junior per se, or just out of the juniors. I don't see it this year for either Nadal or Federer. All right, so women's team.
I have Stevens, Kvitova, Kerber, Kasatkina, Konta, Sharapova, Serena Williams, and Safarova.
Ooh, that's a good team.
I mean, how can you not go with Stevens? I mean, her draw is
yeah.
wide open. This is her chance
to
make it to another final.
I like it.
It really is a semi-final at least.
Didn't I pick her too?
I think you did. I think all of us did. I mean, great draw.
Yeah,
for
we
Stevens.
both picked her. All right.
Kvitova.
Like it.
She's been my favorite all time. I mean, she's got a lot to prove. She came back from an unfortunate mishap at her house, and I would love to see Kvitova hold that trophy again. Kerber is a powerful player. She's been in the semis of a Wimbledon before. Why not? I mean, she does have a few. Not really. I mean, the biggest challenge she has is in her quarterfinals.
I agree.
Kasatkina, another player I enjoy watching. I love her fire. I love the fact that she's aggressive. I mean, she has Muguruza, which is going to be a huge test at the 4th round.
Where is Kasatkina in the draw?
Right here. She's on the first. She's on the top.
Point it out.
Right here.
Okay, why did I not? Okay, let me tell you why I didn't pick her. All right, I'll tell you why. Kasatkina is a solid player. If it was the U.S. Open, I think she got to the semis last year or something, right?
No,
she got far in the U.S., I thought.
No, she didn't. She started making noise now.
We have to check that. I think Kasatkina went far in the U.S. Open last year. I think she made maybe a round of 16 even.
I don't remember.
Further.
We'd have to look.
All right. Anyway, we'll get tied off in that conversation. So I didn't take her because my unseeded player is Bouchard, and then Barty is right above her in that same section. So I don't have really any problem with that pick, but I just went against it mainly because my player, my unseeded player, is right next to her. But I like to pick great player, very Federer-esque type player. She can change it up. She can hit hard. She can hit heavy topspin. She can throw kind of a trick shot at you. So she's a good player. Good pick.
I picked Konta just because I think I always like to see someone playing, on their country's surface do good. I mean, Konta with the crowd, I think she'll beat Halep. I think Halep. I know that I read one of the viewers said that Halep destroyed her or can destroy her. Halep's too little for grass. She's not aggressive enough on grass. On the French Open, you're sliding. You could be more of a defense player. She's gonna be playing a big woman that can put the ball away.
Well, the yes and no. I think it was Vivek that mentioned Halep, and I agree with Vivek for the most part. Halep is a big time champion. However, she's right too that when you're her size, it's hard to reach out there on such a fast surface and play the defensive, get to every ball game. The balls are coming. So it's hard to track every ball down like she does in her game. Hard courts and clay courts are good for her. I'm not a huge Konta fan. I went neither nor. In that little section, Sibylkova is there, and Sibylkova was supposed to have been the 32 seed. Sorry about these locusts that just picked up above me. They're like watching the show. We're in the wildlife, so appreciate the locusts. Hope they're well. Anyway, so and he's a loud one too. So Sibylkova was supposed to be the 32 seed. Well, because Serena was given I guess you could say a wild card seed, if that's the proper term, it bumped Sibylkova out and put her in a tougher spot. So if you read that story about Sibylkova, it's like, it's not fair. We did a video about that. I do agree with that in a sense. I mean, it really kind of isn't fair because she worked so hard to be there. But I think she's going to have a chip on her shoulder and I think Cibulkova is the person to watch out for in this section. So I didn't pick Konta and I didn't pick Cibulkova simply because sometimes a chip on someone's shoulder isn't enough.
Okay. Well, of course I picked Sharapova. I like the veterans too much. Sharapova has a lot to prove, and I mean, when I look at her draw, I think she'll beat Ostapenko, the youngster. I don't think she'll get through Kvitova, but I see her going the furthest out of 17 to 32.
Yeah, I agree with that pick. I didn't do it. I thought it was risky, but Sharapova could win the whole tournament. I just didn't like how bad she got destroyed when she met, who was it, Muguruza at the French?
It's clay. Again, it's clay.
Okay.
So it doesn't suit. She won one. She was lucky to win it.
Makes sense.
Serena Williams, I gotta go with Serena.
Got to.
I'm sorry, but her draw it looks great, and I have her going all the way to the finals. So.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't even dwell on that. I think just picking Serena because she's in the draw is mandatory. If you're trying to even compete with some type of fantasy league, you can't bet against her. She may lose in the first round or pull out with injury, but if she doesn't, uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Then Safarova. Safarova's a great doubles player, but last year she made it into the quarters of Wimbledon, and she's a lefty. She's a tough lefty to beat. And Rwanska, I don't think could beat her. I mean, she'll get past the third round. That's it. She'll make me the most points out of all the unseeded players.
You took Rwanska?
No, Safarova.
Okay, all right, cool. So Safarova, I think, was Maddox Sands' doubles partner, right?
They're playing doubles together.
Awesome. Good,
Yes.
good side note.
Yeah.
So Safarova and Maddox Sands are playing doubles this year.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, who's your winner?
Kvitova against Serena. Kvitova winning it.
Woo. So we both have Serena going to the final. I have Muguruza beating Serena, and you have Kvitova beating Serena.
Correct.
All right, so there you have it. So I'm going to give that back to you. Let me check the time on the camera so I know how quick to spend on our kids. All right, so we're at 26 minutes. I have to make it in under 33 or the camera will shut off. So, in all honesty, I think I've beaten Carla again already before it starts. I'm going to tell you why. And on Carla's team, I think Nadal is risky. On Carla's team, I think Del Potro is risky. Plus, they're supposed to meet early on, fourth round, I think. Cilic, I like. Query, risky. Serves off, we talked about it. Not really a good scenario. Edmund, I think, is risky. Age. Shapovalov, I think, is risky. Age. Konta, I think, is risky. Age. And Safarova, and your unseeded player for women's singles, I think, is risky. So she has 7 risky picks, in my opinion. But it's just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. On my team, I feel like Dimitrov is risky, but still worthy. I like both my unseeded players, Kachanov and Muller. I think they'll be fine. I like all my women's players. I think Strykova is risky, and I think Bouchard is risky. So for me, that gives me 3 risky players. And maybe I'm wrong, and she has 3 and I have 7, but I think I have 3 and I think she has 7. I think going in, I'm the favorite to win my 5th Wimbledon.
Okay. Well, I just think you're all talk. But anyways, go ahead. I'm going to win, just like I win at the tennis courts. Come on.
You think you're going to beat me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what you want to bet on it then?
Oh, well, let's not bet. Let's read the boys. We never go through with our bets, by the way.
Oh, yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No.
Yes, we do.
Let's go.
I'm going to win. Just saying. I'm confident. All right, so my 16-year-old Jonathan. Here's his team. He's a good player, by the way. He's a junior in high school, plays number 1 on his high school team. So here's who he picked. Cilic, Nadal, Thiem, Anderson, Federer, Carreno Busta, Pouille, and Misha Zverev, with his finalists being Nadal and Cilic, with Nadal winning it. Yes, with Nadal winning it. Women's, he has Muguruza, Stevens, Kvitova, Madison Keys, Wozniacki, Konta, Sevitsova, and Petkovic. Ooh, German girl. Used to love her. With the Muguruza-Stevens final. I think, and Muguruza winning it. So I think he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 risky picks. So I would put his team maybe below even Carla's.
I like his picks. They're different.
Let me check see how much time I got for this last one. I got about 4 minutes. All right, so sorry to check it, but we've had a good show, and I don't want to ruin it. So my 13-year-old son, first team ever, he plays number 2 on the high school team. He's a freshman, and he plays number 2 behind his older brother on the high school team. They did great last year. We're hoping for better results this year. But his first fantasy team ever, he has Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, Cilic, Del Potro, Carreno Busta, Gasquet, and Murray. Woo! He on the women's side, I love his women's side. Love his women's side. He has Kerber, Kvitova, Kasatkina, Wozniacki, Stevens, Serena, Sharapova, and Azarenka. So he gets Serena, Sharapova, and Azarenka almost all close to being unseeded.
Right.
So he has the winner, Kvitova versus Wozniacki, with Kvitova winning the final. So I love his draw. The power rankings within our family I have is this. I have Dad coming in with the power ranking of number 1 with 3 risky picks. I have Christopher, my first time draw maker, in second place with 5 to 6 risky picks. I have Carla coming in as projected 3rd with 7 risky picks, and my oldest son Jonathan, I think, will finish last with 8 risky picks. Again, we do have 3 other kids. They're at home with grandma and too young to do it, but they put in their 2 cents as well. We haven't forgot about them, but they're a little young to do this. So can't wait till tomorrow. Let us know how we are doing. We really enjoy doing this. We've started to get some commentary from those that we mentioned at the beginning. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed doing it. Seriously, we're going to do this anyway if we're at home without the camera sitting. We're going to be sitting at the kitchen table, making breakfast for the kids, and we're going to be saying the same stuff. So like it. If you like it, then we'll know to keep doing it through the hard court season, right? And it gives us time to kind of get out of the house for about 30 or 45 minutes and kind of collect our thoughts before we jump into 5 kids for the summer. Summers are always tough when they're out of school. Anything you need to add?
No, I just can't wait. I'm going to be watching a lot of matches tomorrow morning.
All right, well, I can't wait either. We're approaching 31, 32 minutes, so it's getting time cautious. But thank you, everyone. We definitely thank you from the depths of the hearts. It's been really fun, and we really enjoy doing it. So thanks again. I know Carla has been really involved in learning how to do some Twitter stuff. I think, I forget who the watcher was that was telling us how to do so.
I think it was Frenzy 09?
Furzy 09, I
sorry.
think, but I don't want to forget
Yes,
anybody
it
on
was
that.
him.
So thank you guys so much, and you are helping us get better. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't get better. So thanks again, and as Carla always says,
Adios.
adios, take care.